Welcome to the Note to Self podcast. I'm your host, Zoe Ariel, an adventurous entrepreneur who loves to make the most out of life. I'm a certified professional life coach, digital course creator, verified YouTuber, and published author. On this podcast, you can expect actionable tips, reflections, and inspiration to live your best, most fulfilling life. So, let's get started. Hello, angels. Welcome back to Note to Self. Today's Note to Self is how I am attracting love into my life. But if you followed along on my journey and perhaps the Lo and Zo show, you know that I don't actually like to use the term attracting. I actually prefer the term creating because attracting implies that something is out there and it requires efforting in order to manifest that or create that into reality. I'm much more of a believer and a conscious creator in, the quantum, if you will. And so I believe in creation versus attraction, but I just felt like the title is more resonant for perhaps those of you who have not been in the Quantum Creators course or perhaps aren't listening to the Lo and Zo show, which I'll link down below because Quantum Creators is our signature program and the Lo and Zo show is bomb. And we love to just geek out on quantum physics and manifestation and mindset and all that good stuff. But how I am attracting love into my life. So I've recently created a lot of shifts in my internal reality, a lot of healing of my past, releasing of fears and resistance around my desires for divine partnership. And I'm moving into a space now where I feel like for the first time, I actually have space and I'm desiring and I'm calling in and consciously creating the divine partnership that I desire for my life. So this is huge for me. This is such a beautiful place to be in my life, I would say, because I have created and spent my life so far, or my 20s anyways, creating the life of my dreams, manifesting everything that I desire, having tons of beautiful, profound experiences, traveling and meeting people, having friends all over the world, and now living in Bali and creating businesses here. It's just, I'm at this point in time where I've realized, hey, you know what? I don't actually want to be alone anymore. And it's not from this space of that I don't believe that I can manage life or do life on my own anymore, but it's this desire that's been emerging from my heart and my soul, more so of it's actually getting to the point where it's exhausting, suppressing this desire and trying to do everything on my own and operating from the space of trying and efforting to save myself or keep myself in this comfort zone of safety, because it has felt very safe for me to operate life on my own. I can trust myself. I can rely on myself. I believe in myself. And thus, in that formula, in that way of being, I've created magical things throughout my 20s because I've actually been alone and because it's been this beautiful sacred time of really getting to know Zoe and what her desires are for this life on planet Earth. But now there's different desires emerging, and it's taken me a while to actually accept this desire. And what I mean by that is that it was actually buried in shame. There was a lot of questioning of myself of like, who am I if I'm desiring a relationship? Like, does that mean that I'm weak or that I can no longer do this on my own anymore? Or that like I've lost my touch? Like, what's this about? But really, it was just uncovering that there is a call in my heart for divine union. And I truly believe that's because that's one thing that I chose here, that my soul chose to experience life on planet Earth here. And now it's beginning to be time. Like I love to share with you guys, your desires are on your heart for a reason, and your desires are safe guidance. So whatever is emerging through your heart space, that of which you desire, that's meant for you, right? And the thing is that I've gotten so comfortable with allowing desires through that are more materialistic or experiential, that have to do with Zoe and Zoe, or Zoe and friends, or Zoe and moving. But this is a desire that's Zoe and romantic partnership. And have I ever had this desire at the forefront? I mean, maybe at the points in time when I have manifested previous relationships, but never to this extent. So something very sacred and something very special is happening within my being. So how am I as a creator of my reality, creating the love that I desire for my future self, like within my future. I shared in a recent episode of the podcast this exercise that I did to create more awareness and clarity around the soul that I am desiring to be in partnership with. So that was a great exercise. I definitely recommend listening to that. If you're finding yourself on this episode now, it's definitely very complimentary. But how am I attracting, right, creating the love that I desire? I'm just simply being more of myself. That's it. I'm just simply being more of myself. And what I mean by that is surrendering, relaxing, melting into my desires. The desire that I have to be held by the divine masculine, the desire that I have to be emotionally supported by the divine masculine, and starting to explore in my journals, in my meditation, and sitting with Hape, what does that look like and what does that feel like? And then practicing those feelings in my body. And naturally, as that happens, I'm relaxing into trusting myself more. I'm relaxing into trusting that becoming more and more of Zoe, allowing Zoe to emerge, to share herself with the world, to open up, to bloom, and to blossom is in fact the way that I will attract or create that love in my life. That divine masculine counterpart will be drawn to me by me accessing deeper and new levels of myself. How good does that feel? Relaxing into the ease of it all. Because yes, we can do exercises like I've shared that support our mindset around these things, but how do we actually create the divine counterpart that we desire? It's through the body. It's through feeling into, like, how would it feel for Zoe to be in the relationship of all relationships, right? How would it feel? Everything that she desires, everything that I desire, what would that feel like if that was here, if I was met by my vibrational match, if I was met by my life partner who I consciously feel is out there, who is deeply spiritual, who is an entrepreneur, who has desires to make the most of this life, to see the world, to travel, to one day create a family. I've had a hard time in the past believing that this individual actually existed, but the more that I get to know myself and the more that I express myself, the more that I blossom and bloom and give myself more and more permission every single day, that I am doing exactly it if I'm giving myself more permission to just be me. If we think about nature, nature expresses itself and we are drawn to it. A flower blooms and we are drawn to it. Birds be showing those pretty little feathers and dancing around in the Amazon, and they be attracting their divine counterparts. Like that's what we're doing here. We're deciding that it is not only just okay and safe to be ourselves, but hey, it's actually incredibly attractive and magnetic and is creating the love that we desire. If this episode is resonating with you, I would love to invite you into Lo and Zoe's latest program, Imperfect and Prosperous. It's all about ushering in the new paradigm of ease and relaxed receptivity in love, life, and finances. This is a brand new signature program by Lo and Zoe, and it is an 8-week transformational journey, and it is going to be so much fun. I'm leaving the link down below, and if you are ready for relaxed receptivity in your life, if you're ready to give yourself more permission to just let it all be easy, this is the program for you. Thanks for listening to Note to Self. If you enjoyed this episode, please help me out by rating and reviewing this show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If my energy is resonating with you and you feel the call to work with me, there are an abundance of ways to do so. I offer one-to-one life coaching programs, mastermind containers, and DIY courses, all of which are available through my website, zoeariel.co. Until next time, take note of all the abundance that surrounds you as you make the most of this game called life.